Okay, hey guys. Hopefully everything is alright, everything works. Praying for it. We'll see how it goes. We'll see if everything is working nicely. God damn. Yeah. So yeah, pretty chill. Tonight is mostly chill stuff. I just wanna talk a bit for a while. The live stream not gonna be too long because like first kind of stressed of like starting all over again the streaming. I want to do it more and stuff, but you know, you gotta jump into the water and do it, and the whole thing is like yeah, putting each step one after the other and like actually doing it. So this is why we're here. Tonight the goal is to go live, which first step done, so already pretty on a good start. Then the whole thing would be to go over what we call to talk about and like actually getting into doing something, which I think would be cool. Yeah. I reinstated a bunch of stuff, so like I'm kind of happy about it. What have I reinstated? What have I worked on? Firstly, which I'm not too unhappy about, which to be honest, I'm quite happy about, is that I've worked on the whole Twitch thing. I've reworked the whole like Twitch and chat and stuff, which really good, really good. So yeah, I'm happy with that. And then I reworked on the whole like chat chapter, you guys being able to talk. So these two are back in a working stage. Really happy about. Yeah. That's pretty much it. Okay. So yeah, this live stream, this whole thing, not gonna be too long because like first I don't have a lot of things to talk about. I just want to go over stuff that I find quite interesting, quite important to go over, and then we'll see what happens. You never know. So tonight the plan is simple. We go over what is Pantheon and what it means, what are we creating, and what will happen in the next few weeks, month, and upcoming live streams that you'll see on this platform and many other. The goal is I'm kind of unhappy to work on stuff and not be able to showcase the stuff I'm working on to people. And I'm quite done with like not talking about the projects I'm working on because I think they're pretty cool. I think they have a lot of like potential and people might be interested into them, and not having them being displayed in front of everyone, not having them being available for everyone to enjoy is something I'm unhappy with. So today we're changing that once and for all. Good. So that's the whole point, the whole goal. We'll see how it goes. Cool. That's the plan for tonight. I prepared a little presentation. I've prepared a bunch of stuff that we'll go over and stuff. We'll be able to play some games. We'll be able to... Yeah, I have many ideas I want to explore. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy and we spend a nice evening doing so. Oh yeah. First thing first, what have I prepared? Let me pull it up, because I prepared stuff, but I didn't open what I've prepared. Let me double check. So the plan tonight would be to show you a bit what we've been working on, what have we been silent on, what are we planning to do and stuff like this. I think it would be cool. I think you'll like it. You guys will enjoy it for sure. Yeah, okay, we're good. So I can go into my file and find the file I'm looking for. Cool. Oh, got it. So theoretically, if I click on, I haven't done slideshows in a while, so I'm a bit rusty. Good work. Cinema. Cool. Okay, guys. So what do we have to know? What do we have to do? What do we have to talk about? Tonight, let me do it again. Nah. Tonight, we are talking about Pantheon. Pantheon is a studio software that I've created, and I want to talk about it because I think it's quite important and I think you'll enjoy it. Basically, what it is, right? What it is, what are we doing, and stuff like this. So tonight, right now, technically, we have a bunch of stuff to go through. First of all, why am I creating a software studio? Why am I creating a company that is able to publish, create software and publish it for everyone to use? That's the first question. Second is what it is. What are the products we're working on? What are the stuff we're planning to do? What do we see in the future? Everything like this. I think a bunch of stuff that could be interesting, could be cool to talk about, and I think would be interesting. Third thing. I would say the third thing would be, how are we building this? What are we planning to build? And like, what tech are we using and stuff like that. I think it's quite interesting because I might end up talking about it quite a lot on stream, interacting with you guys to ask ideas, to build stuff. I think would be interesting. There's some aspect of it I cannot build on stream, of course, for security purposes, for like protection of the brand itself, but I think there would be quite a lot of things which would be interesting to develop and interact with, which would be, I think, like a good learning opportunity. There's this thing where, like, I love a bunch of creators that spend a lot of time creating stuff, and I want to create stuff that are actually, you know, palpable. Not like in the physical sense, but like as an entity itself. And Pantheon is, for me, really that like touchable entity, which is actually something, not just like promises, not just like ideas in the wind. It's actually something that we've created. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, and the last one would be, now what are we building next? What are we expecting? What are we going towards? Stuff like this, right? Okay, if that's clear for everyone, moving on the class. Moving on. Yeah. So the whole story, right? There's quite a like interesting story behind it all, and I think it would be interesting to go a bit towards what it was.
Five.
Hey, timeouts. Good to see you. Damn, it's been a while. Hey. Today we're presenting Pantheon and what it is, right? Guys, so the whole story. What happened, where are we coming from, and what it is. About nearly a year ago, about 10 months ago, a friend and I were like discussing a bit and talking about the future. as many of us do, we talk about the future and we talk about like, what are we expecting? What do we want to do? What do we aim to do in life? And where are we going with everything we do? So we're chatting, we're discussing a bit, and we understand that, the thing we love to do, which is for me VFX and for him it's VFX too, is quite a hard bargain. Right now there is like a bunch of AI, there is like cutting the budget, we have less and less opportunities as an artist to express and to like, get picked out of like a handful, because like the job markets get fulfilled with more and more people able to get into the actual product, but the seats in this like industry doesn't free up, so it creates like a bottleneck and there's not many spaces. That's the first thing. The second thing would be like AI stuff, which I'm not going to talk long about it. Creative generative AI is a thing and we can't ignore it. And so one thing to another led to us, wanting to spend our time doing something that first we like, and second that would be productive and aiming towards something bigger, something cool that would be, interesting to talk about, interesting to build with people, interesting to like interact with. But this whole thing coming from like, oh yeah, we want to do this, to actually doing something is, quite different. Requires a lot of work. That's for sure. So what happened, right? What did we went through? About 10 months ago, my friend and I discussed and established that, we want to create something. I'm good at computers. I'm pretty handy with computers. I can manage stuff, understand and learn about computers, computer language and stuff, and is pretty handy with plants, gardening and stuff like this. So we thought of a way to combine our two ideas into a single project that would be cool. We called it Ophelia. And for about like 10 months, we built and refined the idea around this like cool interactive way for people to like view and learn about gardening through digital media. So that was 10 months of life. The thing is, right, we have created something that we are proud of. The issue behind it is that, nowadays, visibility and the whole like possibility for users to actually see your product and actually interact with it and stuff is only based on social medias. And therefore, because it's based on social medias, the attention people create around it and the way people discover it is very different from like a few years ago. And this whole thing is not something we're good at. We are discovering it bit by bit, and we are exploring it bit by bit and trying to make something good. So we learn about these new ways of marketing, showing your product to people around, and trying it out. Yeah, I'll talk about stuff like this a bit later on in the presentation and stuff. I think it's quite interesting. But yeah, that was 10 months of life, creating a product, finding like good ways to make ourselves different from what already exists, and ending up going towards like creating something real. The thing is, there is a limit, right? If I start writing a bunch of code on my computer, like a Python script and stuff, it's kind of cool, it's maybe working, and I can share it with other people, but it doesn't make it actually in a product. To make it go from like, a bunch of codes to like an actual product, you need to go through this threshold, and this threshold means getting real. Getting real mean like having a license, having like paperwork, like, making stuff through the establishment that already exists, and, engaging into actually, signing the paperwork that makes it a reality. Taking responsibilities. That's the word I was searching. So yeah, that was kind of our life for quite a bit. And arriving around May, the Affiliate was at a point where this moment in between like a fun project on the side and actually needing to be an actual product and be licensed was really important, because we were at a standpoint where we were stopped and couldn't advance any further if we didn't have the means to do it, or the way to do it properly. There's a thing I know I kind of fucked up on some stuff, where I know I registered some website and stuff without having the right name and stuff, and I need to go back over to all of them and correct them bit by bit to make it all legal in the right process using the right stuff. So yeah, so around May we decided to create a studio, what we called a SASU. SASU, for the French people, because it's a French company, is Société à Action Simplifiée Unipersonnelle. What it means is it's kind of like a LTD, right? It's a company, and there is only one person inside of that company, which is a director, and that's technically me. And you'll say, what the fuck? Weren't you supposed to be with a friend and do it like collaboratively, 2 people? Yes, we are. The thing is, from there it gets complicated. You have a lot of things to take into account, which is like repetition of like the actual company itself, based on like what you bring to the company, what you will bring to the company, what has the company needs for it to be managed, and a bunch of other technicalities. And for us, as a beginning startup that tries to create something cool, it's easier for us to create a SASU and to go from there without any engagement and not engagement, but without any like hard links that makes it forced to work with each other. It's easier for us to create a SASU, make one person responsible, which in this case is me, and if it works, then we can merge into SAS, which would be the non-unipersonal version of what the company is right now. Or if it doesn't work, we could just go onto our own ways and be good, and it's fine, right? We do have contracts, which makes it like reliable for them to know they can rely on me or them to do the whole thing, and I won't just disappear, or I won't just like push them away and they can't do anything about it. We made sure to make it fair, to make it like, an actual thing. So this is us around June, signing the contracts and getting into, actually working on something that is quite real. Around June, we released 3 of the stuff we've been working on. And around July, we've implemented payment system on the platforms, which means that from this month, only a month, right? We've been able to like actually make it function as what it's supposed to function as. So it's pretty cool. Also, in the month of July, we've started like implementation into the Google Store and stuff, which is stuff I could go, more further into. Yeah. The goal of what we're trying to create, right? The thing is, the real question, which is a question I would totally understand and see, is what are we trying to make? What is the thing that we are trying to influence on and build upon? And what we are tired of is company relying on the board, always trying to have the money directed towards, the shareholders, the board, the CEO or whatever. This is not the way we operate. We want to create software, to create stuff that is catered and directed to the individuals, thinking about how empowering people instead of like just generating money for the sake of generating money, which doesn't make sense. So yeah, we're trying to create tools that are affordable, never more than like, I don't know, 15 euros a month. And you'll see the tools, you'll see the price don't go as much as this one. Just an example for it. But the the whole basis of what we're trying to do is to grow software that is useful for people that needs it, and in a very practical way, thinking about them and thinking about, you know, creating something for the one that need them. Yeah. So what have we created and what have we worked on? That's a really good question. As far as we go, we have currently 3 main products on the line. The first one that I'm going to present is Unwarp. Unwarp is pretty cool and I like it a lot. And I'm kind of happy to present it. Is everything finished on it? Not yet. I'm still working on some bits here and there, but I think the main part is the most important one, and I think it's pretty cool. I'll do a live demo right after, so we can go over each of them, of course. What the whole goal of Unwarp? I'm a pretty busy person. I'm a pretty, like, you know, always here and there doing a bunch of stuff and losing myself into my own mind. And the more... I
don't all understand, but I hope your company was successful by 5. See you soon.
Bye, timeouts. It was cool to see you. Sorry, you didn't understand anything. Too bad. Yeah, hope to see you again. Would be lovely. So, the question is, what is Unwarp, right? Unwarp is pretty simple to understand. I'm a messy person and I tend to overcomplicate stuff and go all over the place with ideas I have in my mind. And the thing I don't like about this is because, like, Pantheon is not my day-to-day job, because streaming is not my day-to-day job, because content creation is not my day-to-day job, and I need to focus on other stuff, and I can only focus on this for a short period of time. All these ideas I build up in my mind, all this like stuff I want to remember, I tend to forget them and just like pass around and like not remembering any of this, which is bad, which is really, really bad. And it tends to be very frustrating to know you had a great idea, to know you had like something in mind, but you can't remember it. So I'm always looking for like, what can I do that would be the easiest for me to set up? What can I do that would be for me the, you know, easiest way to interact with whatever I want to interact? When I'm talking about ideas, when I'm talking about stuff that I have in my mind, the easiest way for me to approach it is always language. I love to talk about stuff. I love to, like, you know, not have to type, because the way I talk is always so much faster than anything I could have typed, and allows me to flow those ideas much faster, much denser than anything I could have wrote at the moment. But the thing is, like, listening to a voice note is so fucking long. It's so unhelpful, and all these ideas in a voice note keep being scrambled around what I had in my mind, and you don't see the correction, you don't see anything happening, right? So it's like not really helpful to listen back. What I want is voice to text. Input voice, input whatever I have in my mind, get text out of it, and being able to use that text to do whatever I want. This is my goal. But doing so, creating something that, you know, like sharpen your ideas and stuff, allowed me to explore a lot more stuff that I really like to enjoy. And we'll go over this, which is more like being able to draw, being able to like do meetings and stuff. Yeah. The whole thing, voice-based note-taking stuff. Then came Ophelia. So just to put back into context, creating my own studio allows me to create all the software I want, right? And banners them all under this company that takes like legal responsibility, that takes on the role of like publishing it and stuff. And I'm not the one providing the software. The company is the one providing the software, which secures me, but also secures you and stuff like this. Cool. Affiliate falls into that banner too. It's like a software we want to publish. The goal is to create a plant-based database filled with plant knowledge, gardening tips, gardening care, everything you need to take care of your garden and expand yourself. And then comes ArtKit. ArtKit is like a side project I've got, which I've published under the banner of Pantheon. The whole thing is free. It's just like much more personal than anything else. We can explore it. I've made some updates today about it, so I would be happy to explore it. But the whole thing is like image manipulation. The thing is, like, today we're filled with AI generated image. Where is your creativity? Where is the stuff? And what is accessible to you? Personally, I have a lot of tools I love, I like a lot, and I have a lot of effects I love and I like a lot. I found a lot of them like on Instagram, on TikTok, or even on Pinterest. And when I take photos, right, I have this little part of me, which is an artist part, where I don't feel comfortable just, you know, taking a picture and just posting it and be done. I feel the need to, you know, enhance the picture, modify it, create a vision around it, and create something artistic around it. Just the fact of taking the picture is to me not enough to value it as my own and as my work. I need to, even if it's not like huge creation and modification, just, you know, rebalancing the colors, adding vignettes, adding stuff like this is to me, you know, part of the process of being creative. It what differentiates all the photos I take on my phone and I snap around when I'm around from the photos I take with my actual camera, and I take the time to take them, and I take the time to like think about what I'm trying to do while I'm doing them, right? And ArtKit falls into that. I found that I could develop shaders, could develop a bunch of code to manipulate images, and I wanted like a whole interface to access all those codes, which are not easy task or like multiple steps to do in Photoshop or any other software. So having them all into one place was important for me. One of the example I would give like straight away would be, for example, let's talk about pixel sorting. Pixel sorting is like an image, a type of effect you can apply on an image where you can like apply a mask and tell the computer that onto this mask sorts the pixel by luminosity or by gradient or by color or by whatever, and it's gonna sort the pixels for you, and you can have like really cool effects being applied on it, which, you know, use this type of effects. And I like that. This is cool. You can experiment, you can like do a bunch of stuff with that, which is cool. Yeah. So that was the whole, what are we trying to do? Each of them have like subsidiaries product attached to them. Not each, but yeah, some of them. For example, Unwarp has a subsidiary product called Cast, Unwarp Cast. Cast is an app you can download on your computer, mainly Windows and Linux. And the goal for it is for you to add a shortcut, talk, and be able to synthesize whatever you said into typed text. Why is it important? Why do we have this? We already have a whole pipeline that turn voice-based into text. We already have a pipeline that clean up that text based on like context clues and stuff like this to make the text more legible, because like, you know, sometimes you talk and it's not like fully understandable or like fully understood by the computer or something, and it's important for, you know, me to be able to express my ideas and have them into a bunch of stuff. So yeah, let me just give me just a second. I'm trying to do something. Okay, we should be good. Okay, so back to it. what do I wanted to talk about? So yeah, that's Cast. Cast allows you to like hit a shortcut, get the audio from the shortcut, turn it into an actual text typed, and then use it wherever you want. So you can type for you just by pressing, to keyboard or just a shortcut. So yeah. I kind of like a lot Cast because I use it a lot. But it's personal preferences and you don't have to use it, and it's kind of cool, but like, you go over this at your own, like, you use whatever you want to use, and like everyone has like personal preferences on everything, so whatever. That's what I would say. So that's one of the things. I'm trying to. Okay, dude. I'm trying to modify YouTube stuff, but unfortunately, I, for the life of me, cannot find a way to modify it. Dude, that's too bad. Anyway. Do we anyway this? We're trying to fix it. I think we anyway it. Anyway, okay, cool. Next. Affiliate, sorry, has its own like subsidiary product that is kind of cool. It's called Affiliate. The whole goal and the whole point of Affiliate is to what would be the point of it? Just create a fun game, actually. So every single day, a new plant is released on the Affiliate based on the whole database of Affiliate. This plant is then like pixelated, and the whole goal for all the players is to find the plant in the least amount of guesses possible. As you input plants, you get like hints on what type of plant it is. And as you go, the plant gets unpixelated more and more until you actually find the actual plant. It's kind of cool. We can play it together right after. I'll be down for that. So let's talk a bit about Unwarp. What it is, what it brings, what it does, what the whole point about it. I kind of talked already a bit about that. Like, Unwarp is to be seen Unwarp has to be seen as like a whole like voice-based knowledge base. You input your voice, it creates notes, it creates elements that you can use into a structured form for you to better structure your own personal usage of it. And the whole goal is for your ideas to never disappear. It's for your meetings to get, synthesized into something that doesn't last an hour to read. So yeah. Unwarp.app would be the link for you guys to go to. Cool. So, what does Unwarp actually do? The first thing, which is the simplest, is capture. Voice-based capture, we've talked about this. The whole goal is for it to be easily deployable for any use case you have. So you can record on your phone, you can record on like the browser, you can record it on a Windows app. There's a bunch of ways to install or access Unwarp and use it as your daily use. So voice note based is one of the first I would talk about. The second one would be meetings. The goal is for it to be able to, listen to your microphone, but any microphone connected to whatever call you're in, and being able to synthesize whatever. Then type notes, if you just type stuff, quite easy. The whole thing that, separate this from like an actual notepad would be the whole process that comes afterward, which would be the polish. Polish creates a title for you. You've typed a bunch of elements, it would understand that it's like a recipe for something. You've typed a bunch of stuff you need to buy, it would like understand that and like, you know, title it correctly, summarize it, create tags for you to find it easily, and, you know, write it in a readable way for you to like actually be able to use it in your life. The whole extract thing. So it's cool to have notes, right? It's cool to have written version of whatever you're talking about, but how do you actually have it to be useful? The first thing would be action items. As you create notes, it's gonna create action items for you to fill up, and it's just a task list. You take the task you have to do, but it understands the task, and you don't have to create a task. It creates them for you based on whatever you want. You can obviously create your own if you want to, but yeah. The second one would be calendar events. As you're talking about stuff, you need maybe reminders across your week to certain events that's going to happen. It does it for you, creates a calendar, send you notification, etc., etc. And it sources the content, so you're sure that it doesn't create something out of the blue from nothingness. It bases itself on the actual content of the conversation you've had. Then the whole organization. We all have, if you have Notepad, we all have Notepad with tons and tons of, you know, notes scattered around, inaccessible. And so the whole point is to create folder, workspaces to organize your work. You can work with multiple people and have a bunch of notes in a category, in a folder that you know how to access to, and it's easily findable. Links to link notes in between each other, so you know you have a whole like breadcrumb of like different notes to go through. Different version if you want to go back and search history. Basic stuff, just organizing yourself to the best. Then I developed what I call Brainstorm. Brainstorm is a node-based system around ideas inputting. The whole point is to be able to create mind maps and to create linked elements in a free space, and to be able to like go through this whole space and navigate it and link it as you want. I find it cool. I use it for some stuff, but it's so far maybe the thing I need to rework the most. The all connection part. This is quite important actually. So as we work on Unwarp, the thing that became apparent is like for the tools to be connected in between each other. So we created an API, accessible API. When you create an account and you create a bunch of stuff, you can like link anything, any tools you want, anything you want to the API and communicate directly to Unwarp. Gather your nodes, create new ones, and a bunch of stuff like this. Then, because we created an API in the same way we linked it to the MCP server, the whole goal is for AI tools all across to be able to access your nodes if you want to create new nodes, modify them, etc. Yeah, connection. Make the tool useful by making it accessible and being part of a workflow at the end of the day. Collaboration. The goal is for it to be usable by multiple people, and so on. The next logical step for us would to make it fully collaborational. You can create a workspace, you can work with a bunch of people in the workspace, and similarly to how you would like be able to input multiple people at the same time on the same notes on like Google Docs or anything, you can do the same in Unwarp, where you can see people typing and adding notes, and you can like edit at the same time, and there's no like, you know, oh, I didn't reload, I didn't see your changes. Everything is real time, so you see exactly what you want at the exact moment you need to. Finding cast, I've talked about this, just a simple shortcut. You dictate and it turns it into text. Simple and effective. So, next, what are we using and what do we do? The all and warp thing is audio based. We, especially for meetings, we upload the audio to the our servers so you can listen back to the meetings. It only matters for meetings. For audio note themselves, most of the time we don't upload the audio because it's not that useful. And most of the users we've tested on don't listen back to their own audio. They just read the notes, or if they need to read the source audio transcription. So not that useful. The whole STT thing, so sound to text, is managed by Assembly AI for the real time one. We found that it's one of the best models there is currently, especially for real time, especially for multi-language. You can like talk in a bunch of different languages and have it like understand whatever the language you're talking about and translate it in real time. It's really good. We have fallbacks though. So if Assembly AI doesn't work for some reason, we fall back to Grok, not the Grok AI, XAI stuff. Grok Whisper, which is one of the fastest API we ever tested. It relies on, it's dependent on Whisper, which is not the model we prefer. Doesn't work quite well with any other language that is not French, is not English. But the thing is, like, it can work with French, but it tends to not like comprehend it's French we're speaking. I don't know. And the last fallback is like local fallback on the server itself, which is our last lane of defense or whatever. Yeah, hopefully it doesn't happen because like all the others work, but you never know what could happen. Yeah. So far, for cleaning up stuff, we relied on clouds. You must have heard it. You must have seen it a bit everywhere. Why clouds? We tend to see that compared to other AI model, ChatGPT has given us the most creative response. Google has been like the most technical about stuff, but Claude has been the one, the most better organized, the most clean in the responses it created, and the one that follows what needs to be created the most. And for those reasons, Claude has been the one we've been using. Clean up the node, create a title, create the tags, and extract the texts. Then it creates like different elements, task, all the action items, for you to like, you know, have stuff to do and deadlines for when you need them to be done. Events for stuff to remember when in a calendar, links in between nodes, and the whole memory thing. Yeah. Create index. So the index is based on the full text and vector embeddings. We'll talk about this, I think, a bit later, but it's quite interesting in the way we search. The goal is for you to be able to find nodes without ever typing whatever is inside of the note. If you type the actual content of the note, you'll find the note, easy peasy. If you type the title, if you type the tags, you'll find the note. That's what is the most important. But the whole point of vector embeddings, which I found really interesting, is that you can type stuff related to the notes, which are not exactly the note, but if the bias is close enough to what you've typed, then you'll see the node you were looking for. And I kind of like that because I'm a messy person and I don't remember exactly what I type. I don't remember exactly what I wrote, and it tends to be really helpful on this. Then we've talked about like the real-time stuff with Supabase. We use Supabase for authentication and for real-time. It's ended up being really useful, and we'll see how it goes with that. I like Supabase quite a lot. So, oh yeah, that's the thing I like. The whole search by vibe. So the whole thing is like, as you may understand, your idea is quite broad, right? But the whole point is to understand the meaning and formatting your text into a vector that is compared to the vector of the notes. If two get really close, then like I'm pointing direction because like 3D vectors are quite, you know, popular in modern culture, and so it's easy for people to see 3D vectors. More dimensional vectors is quite harder to synthesize in your head. People don't tend to understand what a 4-dimensional space looks like. I don't blame them. I don't understand it fully either, but what you could see it as is like, whenever you create a note, we place a point in 3D space, right? And the lower it is, the more it talks about, like, I don't know, goat, and the higher it is, the more it talks about cake. And whenever you type something like, something related to tasting, your input text that you're querying onto the website is very close to cake, because tasting is like related to eating and stuff. And so it's going to show up the note you're looking for. That's basically the whole point. But yeah. Connection stuff. The whole point of an warp is for it to be connected, for it to be able to, you know, exchange and be a useful tool. So what we have found to be kind of cool is for it to be linked in a bunch of different ways. How could we synthesize it? How could we explain it? That's a good question. I don't know yet. Okay. Basically, we have found that the more useful an warp was, the most it was like connected to different tools. We are using tools in a bunch of different ways, and personally, sometimes I use Cloud for a bunch of different tasks I have. And I find it useful to be able to like gather around and have access to some of my ideas to create stuff from it. And the way it works is that the assistant has access to the MCP server with a connection key of scope that you've given to the user and that you've like entered into the website when you connected yourself to the MCP server, right? Using that, the assistant is able to query the API and get access to the data using tools that we've created that like the assistant could look for. For example, one of the tools is like notes search, being able to search within the notes and get like a bunch of titles to find the one that is related to whatever is a query you gave to your AI assistant. Yeah. What are we working on? And warp. That's a good question, and the answer to that would be right now we're working on distribution. That's what I've talked about. So basically, and warp is in a good place code-wise. The whole thing for us would be to be able to like outreach to people to show the tool what it's capable of, and maybe get their opinion on, get them to try it, get them to like use it, and ending up having something that, you know, feedbacks from us to improve the product and push it into a direction that maybe we didn't think of, which would be interesting. Being able to find the tool reliably on search pages, on AI assistant recommendation, on like top lists made by people about like production tools. Yeah. What I want to work on a bit is directories. So far, I think like it's one of the part I need to work on the most. Find a way to make it as useful as possible and as organized as possible is a bit of a challenge. and yeah, something I'm currently thinking of. We have demos of the products we want to post and we want to share with people, which would be cool. Yeah. So that's the first thing. As a product on its own, as we said, outreach, distribution of the product, so store distribution, we are distributing the software ourselves on our Warp page and warp.app/downloads, if I'm not mistaken. The goal would be to expand this a lot more to, further origins. We're talking about like the Android app, the Apple Store app, and many more. I need to put a little asterisk on the Apple Store one. This is the most, I wouldn't say controversial, but the hardest one for us to achieve. Why? Simply because I don't have a lot of like Apple products, and for me to create an Apple product is harder when you don't have any Apple product to test it on. I have an Android, so it's really easy for me to test on Android. It's a whole different play to test it on Apple Store. A whole different play. God damn. It's gonna be like an hour I've been talking. Then, what would we go to would be, our goal is to prove that the product is interesting for, messy people as me, maybe people with ADHD and needs tools to help them organize themselves. Prove that the tool is helpful for small teams. We use it in our small production for affiliate and stuff, where every meetings we have is run through in Warp. We get synthesized version of the meetings. We got like task lists attributed for every user with assignation, stuff like this. Yeah, it's kind of cool. One of the questions I'm asking myself, which I think would be interesting for us to explore, is the possibility for it to be linked to other productivity tools, like for example Slack, Linear, and many other. Currently, it's not a feature, but it could be something we work on, depending on the demand and the necessity for people to be able to connect them in between each other. Yeah. Accessible is in Warp. Right now, in Warp is 10 euros a month, French companies or French prices. And Team is 8 euros a month. Why is Team lower than Personal? Because we need for Team to be interesting. The goal of Teams is for you to be able to buy many seats and to be able to buy a complete range for your entire team to be able to work on the same platform. Therefore, we want to offer a discount for those people that are interested into getting into the team membership. Team membership requires you to have minimum 2 seats. Yeah, and we offer a free trial for the personal version, of course. Yeah. Now, let's talk about the big boys. The big boy is affiliate. So, what is affiliate? What does it do? What are we talking about? Affiliate is, for me, the golden gem of what we're building. The thing that is quite nice about all the other stuff we're trying to do and affiliate, and the difference in between the two is that affiliate is built by multiple people, me, myself, but also a really good gardener, Xavier, and a really good team management with Lauren. The three of us build this tool together as a 3-person trio and trying to make the best app there is for, helping people to discover plants, learn about them, and get into gardening. Cool. All the other stuff on the sites are only managed by myself, and that makes affiliate kind of cooler in a way, because like you're participating to something that is built with multiple people. It's just not the vision of one person being applied to the product. It's kind of cool. So let's go over it. What is interesting about affiliate? What does affiliate do? What are the things that affiliate could bring and that would be interesting to talk about? The first thing that comes to my mind personally would be sorry. The discovery. The discovery is how we started to build affiliate first. When the first concept of affiliate came to mind, the discovery page was the first one. It's the one we're the most doubtful about, but the goal is for people to discover new things. So we've built a swipe feature in which you can swipe through different plans you like and discover new stuff. I think it's quite cool because like you discover new stuff and you tend to how would you say it? Learn in a way. We try to make it the least busy as possible to make the experience great. But yeah. So first, discovery. Second one would be identify. This is something you find on every single app about this type of stuff there is. Identify is something you find everywhere. And so for us to be, competitive, for us to have an edge and be on the same level as all the others, I think it's something that is important for us to have, which is an identify thing. How it works is simple. We take photos of plants, we submit it with our supplier, and we get from an API responses about what type of plant it is and stuff like this. I don't know if other plants apps reveal what the supplier is. For us, we rely on Kinwise. They are the number one in Europe to do it, and they're the most accessible and the most used version of it. So this is what we use. I know like Planta or app like this uses exact same. So yeah, the thing that is quite hard for me to grasp now and to know right now is that when I went onto a bunch of subreddits of people talking about their feeling and their envy about plant apps, identify was always a point of discussion where people were complaining about oh, the identify feature doesn't work perfectly and stuff like this. And it's super hard because I know myself, I can code a better version that what already is in place right now through Kindwise. I couldn't create a data set as big as their own and a more reliable service that what they provide. And if that was a point of why people are dissatisfied with the product, is something I'm not quite sure how to address yet. But we'll have meeting about it and we'll have plans to figure out how to deal with that. So yeah. Next would be gardens. The whole garden thing is one of the most important part of the whole app. You go from basically just a simple space. Sorry. Maybe in an hour.
Shanner dying he stream.
I'm dying on stream. Yeah, I'm kind of dying right now. Yeah, I'm trying to present the whole affiliate stuff. That's kind of cool. Okay, let's do this. Gardens are one of the most important part of what affiliate could be. Gardens are the spaces in which you create and manage your plant, your inventory, where you can inputs, how is your plant going, get feedback, get analytics, all of this into one single space that you can like manage. Really important. So that's the first thing. Then care. Into the garden, we include care, which is a bunch of tasks, reminders, all of the calendar stuff, journals, analytics, and stuff, all into one place for you to care about your stuff. Great. Then we have learn. Learn is all about learning new information. What we want to create to differentiate ourselves from the rest is for us to have something people can learn from. And this is really important to us. We separate them ourselves from just, you know, a simple gardening app, from like a gardening app that tells you and makes you learn about gardening to the point where you can then take care of gardens yourself easily and have learned a bunch of stuff, right? So this goes through multiple ways. The first one, easy one, is, you know, a bunch of like different, oh fuck, how would you call that shit? The first one would be quite easy. Plant information in like the database. We have a big database. We bunch a bunch of data into it, and we have like a bunch of knowledge to give to the people. The whole question would then be like, how do we package this to make it look good? That's the whole question. Hopefully we make it look good. We don't know. And then once you've packaged it and make it look good, you have to find ways to use that data to create like interesting courses and stuff. So we've created what we call the beginner's garden. It's a type of garden you can create, and by creating them, you end up having a courses guide through, a bit like what you would find on Duolingo when you're learning.
C'est possible de payer un mec qui signe en français X2.
Un mec qui signe en français. Like someone in the corner like doing sign language in like French. And yeah, that's a whole learning part that we're working on. To be honest, it's the part that we need to like push the most towards, because like there's a lot to be done until we achieve the actual vision we have. But yeah. Then there's a whole like community aspect to Ophelia. You have like your...
I still wouldn't understand, but it would be in the right language.
Like subtitles everywhere. That would be cool. French subtitles as I speak, automatically translated into the right language. Kind of madness to do that. Kind of crazy. Then Ophelia has the whole like community part. Community is pretty easy. Like you have your profile, public profile that you can share with people to share your progress, what you've worked on, and everything you have related to the app. You have your friends. You can like message them, have gardens with them. You can like interact with them and turn the platform from like just your use case to like maybe your family use case, maybe like your household use case with your wife, your child's, whatever, or like a friend garden that you all manage together. I don't know, it's up to you guys, but it's a possibility. You have like a community aspect which allows you to communicate and exchange with people. Good. I've talked about the beginner's pass, and a fiddle is something we're gonna look towards later on, but if I had to make it simple, a fiddle is like the whole like game aspect of what we're trying to build at Ophelia. Why is it important? It's quite important because Ophelia is quite nice on its own, but we think that creating stuff around could bring users to use Ophelia and discover Ophelia in different ways. Live streaming, for example, is a good way to present the products and the stuff we do. We have Instagram account, TikTok account, and stuff like this to promote, once again, the product and what could be interesting for people. And I think the Fiddle game could be like something people are interested in to play, to discover stuff about plants. Cool. A fiddle. Yeah. I kind of said all of that already, so I don't know if we don't just skip it and go fast toward the finish line. I don't know. Yeah, all the information in Affidal is based on what is available in Ophelia. When you guess a plan, then the plan is presented to you, so you can like look it up on Ophelia and stuff. That's kind of cool. And as you go, you have two type of ints. The image gets unpixelated as you go, and you get more detail from the plants as you share them. That's kind of cool. Cool. The link is like affidal.ophelia.app or something like this. So Ophelia and Warp and even ArtKit share a similar like whole process on how they're being operated. They all use React, Vite for the whole like client part, so what you see on your actual screen, TypeScript languages. So this is like one of the latest infrastructure areas, if I could say so. Ophelia is fully bilingual, should be fully translated to French, fully is in English, so both language work. We've thought about the whole process for us to be able in the future to easily add languages. It would be a lot of work, and the more we work on the app, the harder it gets to add translations, because it adds exponentially more and more work for us to go through and to add. But it's something that is doable, and that as we expand, we will like 100% go for, because I think it's quite important. Automation. A lot of stuff in Ophelia are automated for us to not have to think about this. So the whole like a fiddle puzzles are fully automated. I don't have to look it up. I don't have to be on the website and stuff. Everything is dealt automatically. The whole, we have like buffer social publishing setup, so we don't have to care about this either. The website generates every week an image that is then processed by
How much for 10% for Pantheon Eel?
That's a good question. How much for 10%? I've read documents, and Pantheon is valued. Fuck, I don't have the actual number. I think Pantheon is valued, as currently as it is, around 140,000 euros. So 10%, you do the math, but it's quite a lot of money. Is it an actual good evaluation of its worth? I'm not quite sure, but on paperwork, that's what it said. So
okay, I'll make an effort. 20,000 yen.
You should use like what is the Argentinian money? It's like pesos or something. Like, oh, it crashed out. It values to nothing right now. It's kind of crazy. But yeah. Then we have the data. The data is dealt in a bit of the same way for both Warp and Ophelia. Supabase is the backbone of our real-time and management of like, you know, real-time communication and display for each users and stuff. It also is a place where we store, for now, images and authentication, but we might change this in the future. We don't know yet. Yeah. Intelligence. Intelligence, I've talked about this one. Warp, it's like dealt by clouds. Okay.
Okay, I'll make an effort. 160,000 Lebanese pounds.
Lebanese pounds. How much does that go for? 160 pounds to euros. Holy. €1.57. Now we're talking. Holy shit. Damn. What about like Argentinian? Oh. Not as much as the Lebanese one, but holy shit. Dude. Say like euro.
Not enough for 10% Penteon?
Unfortunately, not enough. 1,691 peso. Holy shit. Damn. I don't know if like the FIFA knows about translation and they're like out of the sudden, you know, realize, holy shit. They've paid us like $20 to rig the entire FIFA World Cup and we didn't realize it. We're kind of funny for them to forget about like money. Oh, money works. Yeah.
Raiden XD.
I'm not greedy. I'm not greedy. Like, come on. If I ask you right now, Dexter, 10% of Dex Core for €2, would you give me 10% of Dex Core for €2? Be honest with me. Be honest with me. Yeah, the whole intelligence part is like image scanning, guidance, and control vocabularies. Each of them have their own way to deal with intelligence. So like, I can't buy right now 10% of your company for €2, but you're down to trade 10% against 10%. I don't know, man. I don't know. Feels like you're trying to scam me right now. Not gonna lie. Yeah. The last thing I will talk about on this.
I sell 10% Dex score for you, and you sell 10% for Penteon.
What is your company valued at? Let us see. What is a company value right now? That's what I thought. That's what I had in mind. Come on. So currently we have deployed Stripe on the website. It's available for people to use and to buy subscription and to get into the plus level of the website. Kind of cool. Really cool. But
2,000 Lebanese pounds.
2,000 only? Oh, I'm joking. I saw your message. Don't worry about it. The fact that you're writing in Lebanese pounds lets me think it's quite low. So I don't know. The whole thing we are working on right now, at least I'm working on that, is Revenue Cat. Revenue Cat allows us... Free for this value. Yeah, kinda. 10% against 10%. And like, who would be the beneficiary? Those like Dex Core own 10% of Pantheon, and Pantheon owns 10% of Dex Core. Like, how is it going? Like, how does it work? Or do you own, or is Dex Core owning? That's quite important for me to know. Because that would change a lot, I say. It would change quite a lot on like what is happening and what are we doing.
Dex Core owner.
Dex Core owner. Okay. That's fair. Okay. Each company owns the other one. It's kind of funny though. What is this? I don't know if I can play this. Cool. What? No, this one. Okay, cool. So right now we have Stripe deployed on all the websites. That is good. We're good. The whole new thing that we need to implement is Revenue Cat. the whole goal is for users on like mobile to be able to manage a subscription through Google Play and
4.
Apple Store.
We give 51% to the other party. And just like that, we lose our project XD.
We create an infinite loop. You own 51% and the other one owns 51%. So you're like, oh, let me make a decision and change something. But the other one is like, oh no, you can't make this because like I own you, and create like some sort of like an infinite loop where no decision is being made and we can't like change anything and we can't improve on neither project. It would be kind of cool.
XD.
Yeah. And the whole thing with Revenue Cat is that Revenue Cat is able to manage Google Play and Apple Store Play stuff while being very helpful for us to create a bunch of different pages for users to interact with them. It creates like A/B testing and stuff like this, which is kind of cool. And makes it much easier for us to manage without having to write ton and ton of codes, which is what we're aiming for. God damn. Yeah, Affidal, I don't think it's that important. We can go through this.
Sinon, j'ai un peu du mal à comprendre. On parle de quoi au juste?
We're talking about Affidal, and Affiliate and stuff. So basically, I'm presenting everything that Pantheon is doing. And right now we are on to, we just finished. Shit, I missed a step. Is that important? I don't think it's that important. We finished on the technical bits for Affiliate. And we're moving on to this, which is like, yeah, we gather a bunch of data, like, oh, the monster identity source is the name, we have the family name, the type of like amount of water required by the plants, we have the seasons, the toxicity and stuff like this, and then we use all the data in like a bunch of different places. I have a skip button. I've thought about this. No spam. I've implemented like changes from last time. So okay, I'm kind of proud of this one. Let me just peek it. So right now.
J'adore m'amuser avec le canard qui parle.
Why does she have like a fucking like Canadian accent? Whatever. I have the broadcast view, which I finally finished code, and this shows me the old chat for Twitch, but for YouTube too. So if a message was ever to be sent on YouTube,
Je suis un canard qui fait quack, 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 quack.
Fuck. YouTube doesn't seem
like this one.
Fuck yeah! So okay, it took like half an hour to get to get fucking red, but it fucking works. And so you can have like YouTube messages and mixed with Twitch messages. I'm happy with. Everything gets read through the fucking doc, whatever. But the cool thing is I can skip and I can pause.
I am quack free.
Yeah, you get a fully quack free. The doc is connected and reading all the messages and stuff. And so you guys can do whatever you want with it. But it's kind of cool. I finished this like this week, and it's the beginning of like implementation and stuff. So like there might be some problems and so like latency stuff, but theoretically speaking, it's working. So I'm kind of happy about it. So yeah, we gather a bunch of data into the same place, and then we use it in a bunch of different places, like Discovery, to like show you swipe cards with name and stuff, with care guides, with like social, for Fiddle, for a bunch of kind of cool stuff, right, guys? A Fiddle, once again, let's go really quickly around it. A Fiddle, it uses an affiliate database, pick one plant out of it, which has an image, then create like hint. So what family type, stuff like this, the player plays, the mosaic like gets more and more defined, and then like we show it to the others. Cool. Affiliate, what are we working on? Okay, so yeah, we're working right now on the mobile release for Affiliate. The app is published right now on the Google Play Store. You won't be able to find it because we need to finish some stuff. What do we need to finish? Oh yeah. So basically right now the app is in testing mode, like internal testing. Then we'll go into open testing, which will open the app for anyone to test it if they want. And then we'll go into actually publishing the app. So that should be kind of cool. To be honest, right now, I don't know how long should the testing phase be, because I know what is working, I know what is kind of not working, and like pretty much everything is kind of working. And so like, at what point do we define that, yeah, it's good enough, let's publish it, and we reviewed it enough for it to be good to go? That's kind of the point where I'm kind of stressed out about, because like I don't have a like clear answer on it. But yeah, we want to grow. So like right now Ophelia is kind of cool, but we want it to be more and more to like attract new people and get people interested and like, you know, involved into it. And so to do so, Lauren, Xavier had like huge campaign on social medias, which were really good. We've managed to gather a bunch of new users, new testers and stuff, which we're excited about to talk with them and stuff. So yeah, that was what we're trying to do right now. The goal for us would be, what did I write? Yeah, the whole point for us, a goal right now would be to develop our learning phases and develop our learning capabilities for users to be able to like go from like just simply understanding gardening to actually being like good gardeners through the app. But yeah, cool. Next is ArtKit, but let me just take a break. ArtKit doesn't have its own domain. ArtKit is just artkit.pantheon.dev. Simple enough, good enough for us. The whole thing is browser-based image not generation, warning, not generation, image modification and alteration through your browser. You load any image locally. We don't upload it to any server. And then like you choose any effect you want, you tune it, you like modify it, whatever you want, and then you can download the processed image. Simple, effective, and stuff. What kind of effects do we have? It would be much simpler for me to show you guys the different effects instead of like going through this, I think. And it would be a good transition to go into demos. Cool. So the website looks like this. Let me just refresh it because we have new effects that came in. Yes. Cool. That's cool. Nice. So yeah, we have a bunch of effects available. Cool. We have a bunch of effects available and different like stuff to do, and I think it's kind of cool. So you can upload an image and upload any image you want. You can use a template to see what will the different effects do, and that's pretty much it. Each effects come with different like parameters and stuff. For example, let's say I want channel shift. Channel shift is also called chromatic aberration. Basically, it's offsetting the different colors, and it creates this like quite interesting different effects of like shift of like red, blue on the sides. Kind of cool. So you have like the RB split. So we stay yellow in the middle, but then we shift blue and red, which create those effects. You have only red being shifted, which create blue and cyan. Oh, red and cyan, sorry. Can't speak anymore. And then you can shift blue, which create like yellow and blue strikes, lines and stuff. So You have different ones. So the first one is transform. So you just transform them. That's pretty basic. You can input the offset. You see better the different colors are being shifted. But you can do it with a radial. Radial is to me the most interesting one. You set like an origin point from where like the radial effect is taking from. Artistically, I've picked the center of this flower, for example, and then I can input the amount of like radial shift there is. So on the edges, you'll find like tiny bit of like offset on the R and B channels, which I find really cool. It has a little bit of something. I need to work a bit. I'm not gonna lie, I need to work a bit on the whole like zoom thing, because currently you're zooming into the image, but I would love to like zoom and use the whole space available. As I said, like nothing is like fully finished yet. What is another effect I like to use and I would love to demonstrate? Pixel sorting. Pixel sorting is something you cannot do in many other software. Why? Because it's pretty mathematical and not used that much in many software. Right now you have a threshold based on brightness. You can input that threshold to define what pixel should be affected by this. So like if I set the threshold low and I to the highest amount possible, yeah, then every single pixel gets sorted. This is what you get on the right. So every line of the art is being like sorted differently. Down would be the same, up would be the same, but it gets like interesting and artistic the moment you play with thresholds to define like, you know, what images, what pixels should be shifted and what should remain the same. And you get like cool shit like this, man. It's kind of cool, kind of trippy and stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the whole point of like ArtKit. Have like small piece of code, just modify your images so you don't rely on fucking AI to do it, and it's like fully free, fully accessible, fully run locally with a bunch of effects and stuff. The thing that I quite like, for example, take a like basic one like dual tone. Dual tone has ability to like apply a gradient to any images you want. So let's say I want her to be infrared, right? She's now infrared. It's kind of like already a cool effect on its own, but you can go further than this, and you can like go into mask and create a mask. So it says AI. Is it AI? It's kind of AI, but not really. It's like, what do you call it? It's like, the same software used by Photoshop to select subjects. But yeah. So it creates like a cast. You can remove it if I remember. Yeah, I fucked it up. Cool. That's a demo I like. Fuck it. Let's do something simpler. Let's, for example, create just like a simple square around the eyes. Can go back to effect, and the infrared I've picked is only applied in the area I've selected through the mask. It's kind of cool because like you have full control over whether effect is being applied and you have control over it. I don't know, I find it kind of cool. So that's one thing. The new one I've had it is risograph. Risograph create like those like interesting paper-like patterns, which I find kind of cool. And you can play around with it in many different ways. So that's the first one. And the new one we've added is scanography. Scanography is all about like scanning paper and therefore like creating like weird transformation to certain areas of your images. Right now it's applying the mask, so let's remove the mask. Cool. A lot of movement. Click. You have a bunch of sliders. The goal is to experiment, play around with it, find information that are kind of cool and you want to play with. Are all the effects cool and like stylish and all the same value? I don't think so. But I hope to create something that is, you know, creative and allow people to use their creativity to create whatever they want and to explore new stuff instead of just relying on like, you know, generative AI stuff. That's basically ArtKit. Hope you liked it. Don't think that's important. Don't think that's important. Okay. Yeah, we can like fastly, really fast talk about like what might be our next projects, what could be interesting to talk about and to explore. We thought about what we called Mimo. The whole point is it's kind of boring to have all your images on your phone and not do anything about them. And it would be interesting to use them in a way that would like be cool from time to time to have. It's something like a lot of platforms already do, so we're still like trying to think about it. But take like imagine a point where like you pay for a subscription for a space on a hard drive, right? Let's say you pay like $10 for a terabyte of data. You have a terabyte of data and you can fill that space up to whatever you want, how much you want to fill it up until you cross that threshold of the 1 terabyte of data. That's pretty simple. The whole thing though is that out of like this terabyte of data, you can be not the only one to participate in filling that up. To help you out, you can like create groups, create like entities, and those groups would be like friends, family, whatever. And let's say like, for example, it's a group of friends. You have like an event coming up and you're all like taking photos and like gathering memories of like bunch of photos you take all around the place. The thing is like everyone will have their photo on their phone and not touch about it for another like their whole life, maybe. So the whole point is like all the photo would be put onto the drive, onto the cloud, whatever. And then we would do like a bunch of operations such as like photo identification to tag people. So, oh, this photo has like Chan and this photo has like this person. And so like, oh, what are the photo in which I appear? And you can see all the photo in which you appear. We could have like rankings, so people could rank the photos and you can like organize them in between like the most popular photos and the least popular ones. You can have like a bunch of different stuff that would make like the experience of like rediscovering your images better and more entertaining. The thing we thought about that would be cool is to get reminders of the photo you took, like for example an edit, like a cool like video generated from all the images you had put into like a nice format that you can re-explore a year, 2 years after the event is done, and for you to remember it, right? We thought about like physical stuff would be interesting to have like you have loved ones, you have like a grandma, a grandpa that you love, but it doesn't have WhatsApp, it doesn't have all those photo things. And if you had like this service, you could maybe have like a paper sent to your loved ones with all those photos of those events, all those things that they can also see, share, and have. So yeah, all those things are stuff we were exploring, at least the idea of. Didn't commit to create anything, but it's something we keep in the back of our minds. Yeah. Boring. What are we working on right now? Talked about this. Yeah. So yeah. All of that to say, this is Pantheon. This is what we are doing right now. This is what we are developing at the moment, and I hope you like it, and I hope like the presentation was cool and you guys liked it. We're gonna go towards like showcasing a bit the stuff, and yeah, if you guys are interested or have any question, don't hesitate. Love to hear about them. But yeah, took like an hour and a half to talk about all of this, which is crazy. I've talked about a lot of Unwarp. I was really long on that one. In the end, the product I like the most and I use the most importantly. So I get why, but still, finding quite surprising. So you guys have seen good enough. Okay, so you guys seen ArtKit. We good with that? Let's go to Ophelia real quick. Version of Ophelia. Oh, we were kind of happy because we released one of the new features of Ophelia right now, which is a new paged. Okay. My connection is not following. A new page about beta testing. The goal is for us to make it available for people to like enter a beta test. It's a small like form that you have to fill, and by the end of like filling the entire thing, you end up being able to like join the beta test if we accept you in. It's kind of cool. Holy shit. Are you good? Am I having like internet problems? It doesn't like the audio at all. Hopefully everything is going fine, but like the audio loading, the audio is like, holy shit. Hard. Hard as hell. Come on. Yo. What? Okay. So that was cool. Up next. Up next would be, of course, Unwarp. I want to badly show you guys what Unwarp looks like. Unwarp looks like this. You have like your different nodes, you have like different stuff being applied. You can go through amount of nodes. Have a notification. Yes, I need to remember this. I have folders. I can explore folders with a bunch of notes inside. Each note has like a bunch of text. It's kind of cool. Let's do a note right now in live to show you guys what it will look like. Right? What can we talk about? Good question. Okay. I need to remember next Friday to do a live stream. I need to come up with 5 ideas of what the live stream could be about, and arrange my day so by 10 p.m. for sure I am live. And we can stay live pretty late because like it's then the weekend, and then we can move on to a different bunch of stuff. But the most important thing is before Friday, I need to come up with 5 ideas. So I need to remember this. Cool. So have you seen, okay, as I was talking about it, then like the whole like everything I was saying in real time is being transcribed in front of me. Once the audio has been like transcribed, uploaded and stuff, then we can move on to this transcript. We can move on to a bunch of different steps, and I end up with live stream planning from Friday. Good. This is what I was talking about. Chan needs to come up with 5 ideas on the live stream that could be about. This Friday before Friday, arrange the day around the stream, go live by 10 p.m. at the latest. Stay live into the evening since it's a weekend and allows for flexible scheduling afterwards. That's cool. So it created 2 to-do stuff. Come up with 5 ideas for the live stream topics on the 24th of July and go live by 10 p.m. I have this new 2 tasks to do, which I could find in my action items. I have the ability to connect with another nodes if I want to, and can create canvas and see the source of whatever I said, which is transcribed it, which I can copy if I need to, whatever. And all the notes are editable. So if I say like, oh, I'm kind of late, let's say like I need to be live by 9 at the latest, I can change it here too. I don't have the button to change it here too, so I'll need to fix that. But yeah, always a demo. You have an assist, which has been requested. It wasn't like from what I wanted to do at first, but it has been asked for to have an assist to, you know, being able to chat, to modify your text and stuff. A way to listen to your own notes, and then a bunch of like different action you can take. That's pretty much it. You know, I want to test something. So we have a new note called live stream planning for Friday. If I type something like grocery, nothing comes up because I have no stuff related to grocery. But if I type Twitch, okay, not Twitch. What if I type like live stream is the name? What could I type which is like unrelated? Okay, if I type Friday, then yeah, okay. But yeah, so this is in Warp. Now let's go to a fiddle. I swear if it doesn't load, I loaded it just before we started the live stream, just to make sure everything was working. If it doesn't work, I'm just like actually doomed. I'm actually cursed. Fuck, dude. I hate this. What am I supposed to do now? Fuck. What is going on? Oh shit. Fuck. Fuck. Why? Okay. I'll put that aside for me to fix later on. I'm sorry about this. Wasn't meant to be the case like this. Shit. Shit happens. Shit happens. Yeah. We just note that down so I don't forget to change it afterwards. What plant is this? Okay. I'm going to full on research mode, tracking down what is wrong. Okay. Is it like caladium? Caladium? It looks a lot like a caladium. Fucking knew it. It was a fucking caladium. Okay, I'll mark this as important to change. Shit. Could have found that, dude. Wasn't that hard to find. God damn. Okay. Let me just put this aside so I can move on. I just would like to free my mind from this. And I won't be able to free my mind from it until I've fully completed the report. Cool. Okay. That's it. That's kind of it. Yeah. That's pretty much all I wanted to talk about stuff. Cause like, yeah. Now you have like a full-on picture of everything we're working on. Hopefully you guys like it and enjoy what we're creating and find like interest into what we're building. If so, I would be delighted to hear about it. Cause yeah, we're trying to build stuff for, you know, people to enjoy, for people to be interested in. And so if that's your case, then it's lovely to hear about, because like it means like we're doing a good job. I don't know. That's kind of it for me so far. What are we doing for the next streams? That's a good question. Basically what I want to do is for Friday to go live, I wanted to do maybe a little bit of like pixel art or like simple drawing stuff. Something like quite easy to put in place and quite like easy to like set up. Something that wouldn't last like hours and on end, but long enough for us to like enjoy a bit. What was the goal? the end goal would be literally to that's a good question. The end goal would be for us to create something such as like tiny emotes that we could use with like different expression stuff, because I think it would be kind of cool to be used in like our different videos, our different Discord server, and personalize a bit the experience of the user around themed emotes related to emotions. This is what I'm thinking of. I'll need to gather like references of what I want to create. I like bit of an idea. Or paint. Or what I want to do. Symbol. Our logo for Philia is literally just a plant. With a bunch of hair. 2 round eyes. And holy shit. And 2 little fits. And that's basically it. And I was thinking this is supposed to be some sort of like aloe vera. Aloe vera. I don't know how you say it in English. My primary language is French, and we say aloe vera. Okay, cool. And my idea was to use like very common, I would say common, what would you call it? Emojis. I like this one. I liked this one. He has like side eyes. Where do you draw side eyes? Do they need references? I'm bad at this. What the fuck do you draw side eyes? It's crazy. Oh, I know. I think I know. Something like this, right? With a little smirk. Number 1, number 2. I want 1 crying. Like this. It would be cool. Number 3. Bombastic side eye. What would be cool? What would be cool? I want to do 5 of them. I think 5 of them would be cool. Maybe like an approved one, which would be like a fist with the thumb being like... Or maybe heart. What are we doing for the 5th one? Shit. You guys can't see shit. Easy things to do, hard things to do. That's kind of a hard question. Or we do 6 of them. I don't know. My reference. Okay, let me show you my... Okay. Don't judge too hard. Let me cut the music. this was what I had in mind. Because like they use images in a way which makes it so graphic. And I love how graphic it is. And it gets. Can we up the volume of this?
I'm thinking.
I don't know. It looks so sick.
What?
Merku?
Green door.
I guess going
blue?
red. Oh, I got a bow.
I got a wooden sword.
Green door.
I don't know. The creators Marco Craft, they do like a bunch of like different YouTube stuff, and I love how graphical their emotes are and stuff. So that what kind of like told myself it would be nice to have some of them to be kind of cool. The thing is, like, we can get. I don't want to get too complicated, and at the same time, there are so many things to do. Like, for example, it's a pot. It's supposed to be a pot. This is supposed to be a pot, and not the kind of one you smoke. And therefore, there would be so many things like interesting. Imagine.
If you lock in, you can do anything? Motherfucker. Get it twisted. Your actions impact nothing. Your fate is predetermined. The only thing that you can...
Okay. Imagine it. So imagine the crying one would be like crying with a puddle or something. And has like some sort of like how do you call that? I don't remember. Do you guys see the vision? It's too complicated from what it needs to be. But there are stuff that could be interesting to explore. Like it could like have little plants as like his way of like, you know, watering. I kind of like how exaggerated some of them are. And so I want to keep that like exaggerated motion stuff. So yeah, on Friday we might do that. Could be cool. I want to do some coding live stream course, but I don't know yet how to not make them boring as fuck, to be honest. I know what a boring live stream looks like, and I don't want to bring you guys to the boredom world. To the bottom of the bottom from boredom. So I'll have to think about how I achieve that. Planning wise, I think it's quite important to talk about this. I think it's kind of important. I want to go back to more live stream in general. I want to go back to having few live stream in the week so I can exchange with you guys, so I can share the progress we do. So I kind of motivate myself to like move on, do something, actually create something and interact with people and stuff, which to me is really important. And to achieve this level of like discussion and stuff, having live stream like actively is important. So what are we doing? So how are we doing this is a question, right? And I think easiest response we could ever get is to have an actual planning on days we actually go live. So we know when to see each other and we know when it's the time I should go live. Personally, I was thinking of the following schedule. I think Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. Yes. And maybe on Monday. maybe on Monday. I'm gonna be dead on Tuesday though. Shit. Or Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Monday. I've already have a bunch of things planned on Saturday. Saturday is the day we do like affiliate, you know, like meetings and stuff to go back over everything we've done and we've worked on and stuff. So I don't think it would be too far-fetched to like do a live stream after that. I don't think it would be too far-fetched. At least in my opinion. But I don't know, dude. Yeah. I think that would be a cool way to present stuff. The other question I think it's important to say is outright what I want to stream. For sure, hard stuff is one of the easiest stuff I could ever do. Really cool and interactive to do art on live stream. So 100%. The second one would be some sort of like, how would you call it? Coding live streams. I think would be cool. I want to create interactive ways and stuff, which would be interesting. But I still need to think about them. And presentation stuff and talking about stuff. I want to spend more time talking about some subject that I think are interesting, because it could lead for us to have discussion, which I think could be important, and ways for me to discover new subjects, but also discuss with viewers about stuff that, you know, could be interesting to chat about. So these are the main three things I want to go for in my live streams. I think best way to see it is on this Friday will be art stream, because I'll do like those little emotes we'll have. On Saturday might be like chatting stuff and React. React is like kind of, I wouldn't say easy content, but something I want to explore a little bit. I don't know yet, but yeah. Damn, cool. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys had a great time. I'm gonna leave you guys to it for tonight. I know it was like quite of a short stream. I know it was like not too long, but I want to go back gradually, presenting my stuff, and then we'll work on it, we'll build upon it, and have something cool by the end, right? Hopefully that's how it works and that how it goes. But yeah. Cool. Yeah. I wish you guys a nice night. I wish you guys to have like a wonderful evening. I'll see you guys this week for sure. I'll try to have minimum 3 lives a week, but if we can do more, let's try to do more, because the more the merrier, of course. And yeah, cheers and see you next time.